What if everything we've been told about autoimmunity is wrong? I'm Elizabeth Yarnell. After awakening partially blind one morning in 1999, a doctor told me my multiple sclerosis would put me in a wheelchair within 10 years. I refused to accept that as the end of the story, so I started investigating. Welcome to the Inflammation Investigator, the podcast that uncovers the inflammation lurking underneath your ailments. Because autoimmune and chronic conditions should not be viewed as death knells when they are actually alarm bells. I'm a traditional naturopath and founder of the Inflammation Academy. And in 2 episodes every week, we dig into what conventional medicine might be missing. If you're living with chronic or unexplained symptoms, this investigation is for you. Your body has been trying to tell you something. Let's start listening. In the last solo episode, we began talking about hypersensitivity reactions and how they create inflammation in the body. Today, we're going to talk about a life solution that can actually work to reduce the amount of inflammation in your body, whether or not you've been diagnosed with an autoimmune condition. Looking closely at the role of external triggers, as identified by Dr. Fasano's research and confirmed by my own decades of both clinical work and personal experience, there is a clear indication that MS-related inflammation should logically have external triggers of its own. This is huge. If we knew what our individual triggers were and then remove them from our lives, wouldn't that effectively avoid causing the inflammation in the first place? For without exposure to triggers and accepting that it is impossible to be allergic to yourself, what then would incite the inflammatory response? Don't forget that I will be looking at my computer as we're talking today. But let's take it to the next logical inference. If there is no trigger to spark the onset of inflammation in the first place, then symptoms of inflammation won't occur. Leading to the question of, would a person without symptoms of pain, discomfort, or dysfunction from inflammation be considered sick, ailing, or progressing? I think a person without negative symptoms of pain, discomfort, or dysfunction might be considered healthy. Here's the most important part of this solution. We no longer have to be held captive by mysterious bouts of inflammation. Even if you hadn't identified and avoided the trigger beforehand, as I failed to do with the parsnips, yet you catch the inflammation quickly enough, address it naturally, and avoid re-exposing yourself to the trigger, you are effectively managing the disease. Now you can control your own future. Go you! Remember that dismal disability chart with the unstoppable downward slope toward complete disability and dysfunction? The chart that instilled such horror in my heart in earlier episodes. That's what I think about every day, and why I made it my goal to interrupt the downhill slope of multiple sclerosis in order to live a healthy and productive life despite this terrifying diagnosis. By identifying your own external triggers, you can do this as well. Any of us with autoimmune conditions should likewise be able to create a similar life solution for ourselves
Much like how celiac patients who, once they discover that they are sensitive to gluten and remove it from their diets, are able to live relatively normal lives. Proactively avoiding personal inflammatory triggers as a life solution is a new paradigm in thinking about health. This is truly proactive and preventative health management solution. But how to go about doing it, or even getting started, it can be enough to thwart even the most motivated autoimmune sufferer. It can feel like an overwhelming quest to undertake. However, even if you've never before paid a lot of attention to all the ingredients of everything you eat, you need not be apprehensive, as learning how to identify triggers is actually not that difficult once you are aware that symptoms are clues. In the next episode, we'll talk more about how to identify symptoms as clues as we get into the limoncello incident. Tune in then.
And that's another case filed on the Inflammation Investigator. Remember, every symptom is your body's way of communicating. We just need to learn the language. If today's episode sparked something for you, I want to hear about it. Share your own investigation discoveries with me on social media at Elizabeth Yarnell, or find me at elizabethyarnell.com. Your experience could be exactly what another listener needs to hear. And make sure you're subscribed so you never miss an episode. And here's the thing about investigations. They work best when you're not going it alone. If this podcast is helping you uncover the answers you've been searching for, please like, rate, subscribe, and review, and share it with someone who needs to hear this message. As a new podcast, these actions mean more than you know. Want to dive deeper into your own inflammation investigation? Head over to inflammationinvestigator.com, where you can take my free inflammation quiz to uncover which hidden triggers might be affecting your health. Until next time, this is Elizabeth Yarnell, your inflammation investigator, reminding you that the solutions to your health issues are out there. Let's find them together.